This morning, it's time to reveal some of the biggest tax scams and myths of 2012. And if you're about to tune out because you heard the word tax, you may not want to. You may want to wait a minute. Problem solver Susan Hogan joins us with important information that could save a lot of aggravation and money. Good morning. Thanks for being here.
Good morning. Happy to be here.
So you're putting on your tax hat this morning?
You betcha.
Okay, now before we get audited, let's get right to it. What are some of the biggest myths when it comes to filing our taxes?
Well, there are two major myths. One is that filing a tax return is hard and by yourself.
Right.
You know, but I'm here to tell you personally that it's not. For someone who for years used an accountant, this is my first year doing it by myself, and it was so easy, especially when you're using one of those online services like TurboTax. They literally walk you through step by step. It's really tax preparing for dummies, and I mean myself too, because no one, the average person like you and I, we don't know the tax codes, we don't know any of that stuff. You don't need to. So save yourself the aggravation of spending the $200 or whatever it may be to hire a tax preparer and try to do it yourself. The other myth that we also have is that if you go to a tax preparer and there is a mistake on your tax return because the preparer made that mistake, that the preparer is responsible for this mistake. Guess what? You sign it, you own it, meaning you. So here's the deal. If you are using a preparer, yes, they are the professionals, but they're also human. So you have to really look over your tax return, look over their shoulder as they are filing for you to make sure that they are putting the numbers in right, especially the routing numbers when you want to do the direct deposit. I have had so many viewers call me that those numbers get mixed up. You've got to make sure that those numbers are correct. But when you go to sign that is really, the onus is on you as the taxpayer to make sure that everything there that's being sent to the IRS is 100% correct.
That is good to know. I never knew that. I thought that they held some sort of responsibility for, they were the ones that were filling out the paperwork.
Absolutely no responsibility.
Wow. And the other thing, are you noticing a lot of tax scams this year?
There are always tax scams every single year. The biggest one right now that I really need to point out to is the identity theft scam. We've done this one particular scam, and I thought it was extremely important. If you're filing with the IRS or on your own, and you have to obviously put in your social security number or your children or whomever, if it comes back that social security number was rejected because it's already been used to file a return, and you're sitting there looking at that in black and white on your computer thinking, oh my gosh, what do you mean? People obviously have access to social security numbers, and those people will file quickly and they will take your return, any refund that is coming to you. So my advice is file quick. Try to get that out there to avoid that from happening to you, because that is definitely an issue. The other thing, too, Will, are phishing scams. We've done a lot of these things, phishing, PH.
They're the things where you click on something online or something like that, right, looking for information.
Absolutely. And with the IRS, a lot of times you'll get emails that look just like they're coming from the IRS, and it will say, hey, we have a question about your refund, we need some more information for you, taking the chance that you've already filed, and just click here, and we need some update information on whatever it may be. Well, people think, oh gosh, I want to get my refund, so I'm going to do that. The IRS will never, ever, ever email you asking you for personal information. Ever. If you're already in correspondence with them, that's different, but still, even at that, they'll never ask you for that information online.
And have you noticed a lot of complaints about tax preparers this year?
There are a lot of complaints about tax preparers. Obviously, there are many out there that are absolutely fantastic and will do their job and do it well. Tax preparers do not need anything except to be, not even a license, but some sort of like a registration through the IRS. Make sure that they have an identification number before you start anything. Also, some signs to know if you have issues with a tax preparer. If that particular person fails to sign the return, because not only do you sign it, the tax preparer has to sign it, you want his name on that particular form. If you don't get a copy of your return, if he says, I'll send it to you in the mail, don't leave that tax office until you get a copy of your return. Also, if any tax preparers promise larger than normal refunds, sorry, you get what you get. And if they promise you to get you in the door, that they're going to make the most out of your tax return, I would be a little leery about that. Also, if they charge you a percentage of your refund for a preparation fee, that's not, actually, they cannot do that. Whatever your refund is what the refund is, unless you're doing a refund anticipation loan. But don't ever ever let them take some of that money away from you to pay for a prep fee. That's ridiculous. Also, if they add forms to the return you've never filed before, like all of a sudden, like you don't have kids and there's a, you know, something about dependents, and they're trying to get away with something and boost your return, which boosts up what they get too. You know, you got to be careful on that. And if they encourage you to falsify your income, your expenses, or your credits, trust me, many will do that. Because obviously the more you make in a refund, the more they will make as well. So you've got to be totally aware of that.
Okay, thank you so much, Susan. And as always, you can find all this important information on our website at WPRI.com.